Hello, welcome to Self-Care Simplified. I'm Debbie Brown. We're going to be talking about fall rituals for restful sleep. So I'm going to let everyone slowly start to trickle in, and I'm just going to pin a comment for just a moment. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see, fall rituals for restful sleep. I'm typing in my comment to pin. Just a second. As you're trickling into our sacred space here, I'd love to see where everyone may be in the world in this moment. I see Portugal. Hello, hello. Okay, let me add this comment in. Fall rituals for hello, Canada. Hey, Katrina, I see you, girl. Debbie. Sorry, this whole pinning of the comment thing, I'm trying to... Oh, beautiful. I see someone said, you're pregnant. Congratulations. Love to learn more about sleeping better right now. I so feel you. Okay, comment is pinned. Awesome. Let's go. Hi, everyone. Okay, so I'm seeing we are from all over the world today in this beautiful container that we have here on our Chopra Instagram, Self-Care Simplified. My name is Debbie Brown. I'm the Chief Impact Officer at Chopra, and I lead our daily meditations on the app. I'm also a Chopra certified faculty and instructor. And this segment that I've been doing really since some of the meatiest parts of the pandemic is called Self-Care Simplified. And so we meet in this space. Videos are always available in our IGTV. But we look to break down and make really tangible, active tools of self-care, of being able to show up for ourselves in the micro and the macro ways in all the moments that we need it, because we deserve it. We deserve to be whole, healthy, safe, healed. We deserve to feel our own love, and we deserve to be in acceptance of ourselves, and daily practice is what gets us there. And so we investigate all of that on this segment. And we also have a companion to our Self-Care Simplified series here on Instagram that's on our Clubhouse. So shout out to everybody that is on Clubhouse that has been joining our rooms. They've been really amazing. We have incredible speakers, other Chopra certified teachers, brilliant minds and voices that join me in that space to share their wisdom. So we do that every Thursday at 9 a.m. So this conversation we're having today, we'll also be having with more people and a few different perspectives and angles that we can explore it with on Thursday. So all of the info is in our linkin.bio if you feel called. All right, let's check in. So I am in sunny Southern California right now. It's a little humid for me. It's afternoon over here, and I see that we have people from all over joining us: Canada, Dubai, UK, South Carolina, Washington, D.C., Dubai, Tennessee, Connecticut, Mexico, Zambia, Nigeria, Moldova, San Francisco, Arizona, Brazil. Wow. I want to visit everyone. Croatia, Buenos Aires, Ireland. Oh, that is on my must-travel list for the near future. South Africa. Oh, amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, yeah, I see someone's comment they just left said they're feeling a lot of anxiety due to the moon, the new moon that is today, and the retrograde. And we actually have such an expansive amount of articles on our Chopra site. For those that don't regularly partake, we have some really amazing articles as it relates to the moon and Vedic tradition, and really kind of dealing with some of the planetary energy that can be felt sometimes. So I hope you'll check that out there in our Chopra articles. All right, beautiful. Okay, let's get started. So today, we are specifically talking about, and this month what our focus is going to be on is exploring fall rituals. And so we've dived into a few different ways to ritualize our lives more, and ways to create what can be felt as more sacred connection on our journey through rituals. And in Ayurveda, there's so many powerful practices that you can utilize. And one of the things that's really noticeable, not noticeable, but one of the things that is really beautiful to me about the Ayurvedic tradition of caring for self and understanding your body and spirit is really the deep understanding and use of seasonal energy that's available to us. And so fall ushers in a whole new way of being, and a whole new way of being able to experience yourself, from scents to tastes to sounds to sights. The universe is always really informing our process, and it isn't always noticeable at different junctures of our journey, but when we get still and when we get quiet, we can really see the energetic potential that is available to us, and the ways that we are really supported by natural law, the ways that we're really supported by nature. And when I was a kid, I used to be so into summer because it meant summer break. And I think now as an adult, I find that fall is really the time that I feel most alive. And I really connect that to watching the visible shifts and changes in nature and the earth happen. And that creates kind of a permission and an allowance to be in that energy inside as well. So fall is one of my favorite times of year. Fall, I find myself having really powerful, really deep meditations. So just something to think about, just to observe. And for that piece of it, you don't have to have, all the info, all the tools. It's really just depending on where you live. And if it happens to be your fall this time of year, just noticing, what is it that I see that's different about fall? What is it that I feel that is different about these months or these seasons? And sometimes we can find it in some of the little ways that can be fun. Something I really like noticing in my home is the way that light comes into the windows differently at different times of the year. And the light there's this really beautiful shadow that comes in through some of my windows in October, November, December. So that is always me really understanding that we are coming into that new energy. So beautiful. And I'm seeing some people are resonating in the comments. And, it's also interesting to explore if fall is not the season that you're feeling that, which is the case for me personally. But noticing for yourself, is there a time of year that I happen to feel more energized, more alive, more peaceful? Are there times of months out of the year that I notice that I'm actually a little bit more stressed, or maybe I'm more explorative of my experiences and my process? There is no right or wrong, but it is about the noticing, because when we notice our individual patterns and how we personally respond to moments, to seasons, to rituals, to experiences, it helps to inform us of all the ways that we can show up for ourselves that are very unique to us. So that is some of the background thoughts on coming into fall ritual today specifically. And we're going to be exploring this idea of fall rituals all month long here and on Clubhouse, and also on our app in our different meditation series that we offer. But today we're really focused on fall rituals for restful sleep. So what is one of the first things that we notice starts to happen in fall? Well, it gets dark earlier. And so, and it happens like that. I feel like here in Southern California, it went from being like 8 p.m. until it got dark. I'm having blackout curtains to try to get my son to, really think it's time for sleep. To now it's like, 5:30 and it's dark for me here where I live. And so what is that really on maybe a deeper level as it relates to our human process, as it relates to nature and spirit? What is that looking like it wants to inform? Well, for me, I experience it as there's more energy available to us for rest, and for some of that deeper rest. The sky goes dark, but it really goes blacked out dark so much earlier. It's asking that maybe if we're able, we cocoon a little bit more. We come into that space of really nesting and preparing for a hibernation, preparing for winter, depending on where you live. And so that energy that's available really speaks to this idea of rest, this idea of sleep, this idea of that deeper cellular nourishment. And so I'm actually really excited to share some of my sleep tips with you today as it relates to fall, because this is something that was a lifelong journey that I cultivated really in the pandemic because there were no social lives. So being able to really sink into, if I don't have this pull, if I don't have this tug of all the things that need to be done, these places to go, this keeping up with things or people in my life, what does my body naturally want to do in its evening process? How does my body naturally want to respond to fall? That could be a way that you start to notice what your own personal needs and tools are. And that's some of the language that I used for myself to get there. So one of the things that can be really supportive to you, especially if you're in need of better quality sleep or more sleep this fall, could be really exploring what could an evening practice look like. So something we speak to quite a lot here, and I have other videos on this, is what it is to build your daily spiritual practice. You know, we know that it can be so supportive to really shroud that daily practice around the 4 pillars of wholeness, which is mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. And I have a whole nother video on this on IGTV if you want to check it out. But physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, those 4 pillars, finding something that fits in each of those categories and doing it every day to support ourselves. Now, when it comes to really bringing in a new season, it's how do I now experience my daily practice with this new lens of what's available to me in the fall season? Can that change? Do I want to switch up any of the things that I'm doing in those 4 pillars and maybe find something that is uniquely fall? You know, and that could be as simple as if under the physical pillar that included, you know, taking a walk. Maybe it's taking a walk down a tree-lined street and really taking time to notice those leaves changing or falling and turning. You know, it could really wrap into the foods that you're nourishing yourself with and coming into something that really speaks to this season, some of the nutrients that are more readily available right now. What it could also look like, and this is something that I do, is creating a practice that is uniquely designed for your evening routine. So a lot of times when we talk about building a daily practice, it does feel natural to really inform that practice when you first wake up, you know, as a way to really set the foundation for your day. But there's opportunity to also design a special little self-care package, self-care ritual, self-care practice and experience for your evening. And so some of what that can look like is noticing any barriers to your rest that you may have. And, you know, for anyone that's like my kids, things that we can actively control, right? So when the kids go to bed or when your house tends to naturally shut down for the evening, whatever that looks like for our individual lifestyles, you know, really noticing, is there opportunity for me to do something more supportive for myself in this evening? My evening rituals have begun to look like I don't watch television at night. And that has really helped me for what I need in the way to support myself. And that has helped me fall asleep faster and have a deeper sleep because I've noticed that I haven't been filling my mind with a lot of outside thoughts. My mind is really clear, or it's focused on things that are very specific about my experience. So there's less to kind of need to plow through or remove before I'm able to get into that restful space. That for me is something I started in the pandemic, and it's become really powerful for me, not having any outside disturbances. Something else that within that practice that really sets the tone for me to come into my body naturally relaxing earlier in preparation for sleep is I reset the lighting in my home. Once it gets dark outside, I don't keep really bright lights on in my house in the evening, unless I have company or a specific reason if I'm working. But I like to only keep, every third light on in my house, or, turn off the overhead lights and only put on a lamp and let that kind of more subtle illumination really prepare myself for what that ease and restfulness should be looking and feeling like. So that could be beneficial. And even though I have a toddler in my particular house, I always say, okay, it's time to reset the lights. And then we go through and we kind of dim a few of the lights together and just change the feeling. It makes it a little more cozy. It makes it feel a little more intimate, a little more nurturing and nourishing. So that could be a piece of it. Preparing your home for the feeling that you'd like to introduce for your evening. So considering ways to build a night practice, maybe that includes an evening meditation, an evening prayer, evening stretching or yoga postures if that feels good to you. an evening journaling, and maybe you can create a special place in your house that's for your evening practice. I like to sit over here when I do that in the evening. I sit here when I do it in the morning. It's you really trusting that you can meet your needs and being a scientist with yourself. Just practice. Everything that I'm sharing here today is how I use it, but that is by no means the right way or the only way, but it is the way that feels really serving to me. So anything I share here, if it fits, awesome. If it doesn't, okay. But maybe just notice that may not be for me, but could that inform something that I know is really for me? So this is just to create your baseline foundation so you can fill these spaces with things that you know are going to be useful for you. So evening practice, my evening practice consists of dimming the lights, resetting the lighting, also putting on some gentle sounds. So I really love listening to different healing frequencies. I love listening to instrumentation. Sometimes I'll just, go on one of those apps and find instrumentation from different parts of the world and keep it on a hush tone, but let that play through my house for a few hours until I go to bed. Is my camera okay? When it's time to get ready for your evening practice, and if you are going to use music or a playlist, try not to use music with words or music that you really deeply connect to. So not your favorite song, potentially, because those are really connected with very specific memories and your body naturally is going to have certain responses. So whether you want to or not, there are going to be thoughts that come up. Perceived good or bad, doesn't matter. There's still thoughts. There's still influence on your sleep, on your night, on the way that you're going to be with yourself. So if you can create a playlist that's more rooted in maybe some of those healing sounds or just songs you don't know well, songs that you're not really looking to turn you up or to sing along to, that could be really, really helpful. Also setting the tone for yourself of what sleep is going to look like. I've come to find personally that sleep is the most important thing to me. Even when I travel, I was just teaching and leading a course out of state, and I packed less clothes in my luggage so that I could pack my favorite pillow. Because if I'm going to be in another bed, I still want to get the level of sleep that I would love to have. So I see that someone just said they can't hear me. Would you guys mind letting me know if you're able to see and hear me right now and how that's coming through for you? I want to be able to just make sure. Drop me a comment. I had a little thing pop up that said my signal was in and out. So there might be a delayed. Okay, I see someone said, I can hear you, I can see you. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. If you can't see me, this video will be available in our IGTVs. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. So the rituals, I think that's where I left off. So we're sitting and we're talking about, ways to create a supportive mood and environment. The language that I use around it is I treat myself in a very romantic way. I want to have an enchanting and romantic life. And so resetting the lighting speaks to that. Lighting incense at night, lighting a couple candles, really inviting in that elemental energy to be supportive to our process. But when we also think of the deep ways within which we're able to heal and restore through the five senses, outside of the four pillars that we fit our practice into, how can we also invite in the five senses in every part of our practice? Is there something beautiful that you can look at and connect to before bed? Maybe it's a photograph of a place that you've been, that you want to go, a place you think about that just resonates with you. Have a picture of that near your bed. Have a few moments when you're getting ready to sleep to just look at the beauty of whatever that image is. Hold it in front of you. Take a few deep breaths. Really notice how it feels to be in your body before bed. Recapitulating is so powerful. And Deepak speaks to this so expansively and so gorgeously in so many ways on our website, on chopra.com, and in meditations. But really training yourself to be in that present moment, to be in your self-inquiry, to notice where there's opportunity for those subtle refinements, for those subtle opportunities for peace, for love, for acceptance, for surrender. And so when you have a recapitulation practice, which for those that are not familiar with that term, it looks like really laying down before bed, not fully in a meditative space, but in a relaxed, present space, and just bringing forward your day and noticing from the moment you wake up, what were some of the things that I did? What were some of the things that I thought about? How did I feel when I did that? How did I feel when I thought that? Is there anything that I'm not at peace with about today? Is there something I felt really at peace with about today? Can I sit in that for a moment? And then also, as you notice the thoughts, as you recapitulate, letting them go. I'm noticing it, I'm letting it go. I'm noticing it, I'm letting it go. One, it connects you to your intuition and to your personal growth in such a profound way. But what it's also doing is it's clearing your mind, it's clearing your heart, it's clearing your energy so that you're able to get ready for sleep in a way that is really conducive and supportive to your regeneration of your cells, of your spirit. It's really coming into a space of, even if you weren't able to change something, you weren't able to do something, you can still practice, can I let this go anyway? Can I let this thought go anyway? And focus on what's in front of me, which in that moment would be sleep. So recapitulation is a very, very powerful practice to use as a fall asleep ritual. I also say, for me, I shared that I don't watch TV. I don't watch TV at all, but I especially don't, except for sometimes some children's programming. But I especially don't watch television at night. And so I would really look to think of the container before you sleep, maybe that hour before you go to sleep. If you don't have an hour, that's okay. If you can book out a solid 15 minutes before you're ready to turn it all off and go to bed, cut out television an hour before bed. Cut off your phone use an hour before bed. 15 minutes, okay. But try to give yourself a big chunk of time, like a nice juicy chunk, to just be with yourself and your own energy in your own area, and really allow yourself to just kind of calibrate into whatever that natural flow will look like for your body. But even if it's great programming, even if it's interesting programming, maybe you watch documentaries at night, maybe you're really feeding your brain, maybe you're even watching wellness programming. It still does have an effect, especially because of the lighting. So that electronic frequency, that electronic light, that electronic buzz from your phone, from a television, from anything that is running, it is going to influence our sleep patterns. It is going to influence our ability to have rest. So the more space you give in between that could be really powerful for you. It could feel really supportive. There's also a few little items you might want to consider picking up. And I started this a few moments ago. I started speaking to this where I travel with the pillow that's really supportive for my neck. I do believe investing in a pillow that supports your body is important. I love a good neck support. So really finding what works for you and your unique particular body. And maybe that means you get, a pillowcase that's a little more soft for your pillow. Maybe that is a way that you can really treat yourself and hold yourself as you sleep. An eye mask, having something that really blocks out some of that light, that creates that feeling of being held on your face, on your eyes. It's a whole process. Having a scent, and that could mean lighting an incense before bed. It could mean one of those, beautiful sprays for your bed, for your pillow, maybe a eucalyptus or a lavender, or it could mean having a few drops of an essential oil, rubbing your hands together. Taking a deep breath in through your nose, really letting that scent come all the way in, heal and relax you through those 5 senses, through smell. Using that, doing some breath work before bed is really powerful. And just really connecting with your breath. And you don't have to think too much about it, because as you're preparing for sleep, you don't want to worry about, this is the style of breath I'm going to use, this is the way I'm going to do it. You can if you wish, but maybe you could just be like, I've turned the lights out. Okay, let me take a deep breath now through my nose. My eyes are gently closing. Maybe I'm looking at the ceiling in the dark. I'm just noticing where I am. I'm feeling really safe being with me. And then really letting that inhale start in your belly and fill that belly, and then move up and fill those lungs, and then bringing that up to your face and your head. And then a really slow, measured, deep way, allowing that breath to run out either back through your nose or maybe as a sigh at the end of the night of just but doing it in a measured way, doing it in a way that's really focused on how is that breath felt inside. I'm feeling it fill and expand, and then I'm noticing and feeling in it leave and shrink and be complete. And then I'm filling and releasing, and I'm filling and releasing. And that practice really shifts you into the slowness. It shifts you into the peace. It shifts you into the taking off and allowing your body to do what it's naturally informed to do, which is to nourish you and to fill you and recharge you in your sleep. So really being intentional about that. Taking time, I saw someone left in the comments, and thank you for that. Someone said they enjoy saying positive affirmations before bed. You know, what is something powerful that you can say to yourself before bed? What is a supportive, piece that's connected to you and your unique journey that you say over yourself? And it can also be as powerful as and simple as setting an intention before bed. So maybe even the intention is, as you do that breath work, your phone is already off and it's to the side, the lights are off. You've had those scents going. You've really brought in and invited in this energy of peace, of rest, of restore. You've done your breathing. Maybe you've done your prayers if that's a part of your evening. And then as you lay there, you've done the breath work. Maybe you put a hand over your heart and you say, my intention is to be in perfect health. My intention is to have restful sleep. My intention is to be nourished in every cell of my being with rest, with restorative process. Whatever your unique journey calls for. Maybe it's even my intention is to release all of the stresses of my day and to be present with my body as I sleep. My intention is to release anything that is burdensome in my heart, in my spirit, in my mind, and to be present with myself and to allow my body to function at the highest level, at the deepest level. Whatever feels good for you. We each, at the deepest level possible, know what our needs are. It's getting really clear and still so that we can express them. Those needs need and want to be expressed. So how can you support yourself with that expression, with those moments to release, with those moments to review, with the recapitulation in each of our evenings? So it's something to consider. If you have been wanting and really craving deeper sleep, more sleep, opportunities to show up for yourself more fully, it could be really worth the consideration of, is there opportunity for me to lighten my load of some of the other things I do in the evening and create an evening practice? Is there an opportunity to slowly, pad my evening routine with things that feel more supportive, with things that allow me to feel more cared for, and I think of that pillow example. Maybe I do get a really nice pillow that I'll sleep on every night that will support my neck because I deserve to feel good in my body. I deserve to feel rested. Maybe it's, that intention setting. Maybe it's the spray. Maybe it's just every night, if nothing else, putting a couple drops of lavender in your palm, rubbing them together. Taking that breath. So I wanted to offer that for everyone. And I just want to remind you, you deserve to feel really good in your body. You deserve to have rest at the deepest level possible. And it may not feel naturally comfortable to do those things for yourself. Sometimes we're really fighting a lot of our cultural conditioning. But if you are feeling maybe nervous or unworthy, or there are, certain excuses that are coming up about why it's not possible, don't judge yourself for it. It's okay. You'll get there when you're ready. But notice it and say, are there any walls I'm putting up to my own love and acceptance? Are there any walls that I'm putting up to my own best self, to my own peace, to my own acceptance, to my own rest? Do I have any barriers up right now to my own rest? Just start investigating, and then really listen to your needs and meet them as you're able. So I hope that this was helpful. And again, we're going to be having an even more expansive conversation around this, around these rituals this Thursday on our Clubhouse page. And we have beautiful articles written by Chopra faculty, people from all over the world, written by Deepak, up on our website, which is chopra.com. Truly, articles about any and everything you can imagine. And then for any that feel called, we would love to connect in person. We are having our Well Within retreat this month, the last weekend of the month, Halloween weekend, here in the Los Angeles area. And we'll be having even more beautiful processes that you can pick up there around Ayurveda, around meditation. So I hope you will join us there, and also just continue to join us here. Big love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you want to connect, I'm tagged below. Namaste.